Hi!
Hi!
I'm Coco Ferosha.
And I am Isis Mirage.
And this is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 6, Episode 5 plus Untucked review, bitches.
So because there was no mini challenge this week, we're just gonna go straight in on the Snatch game and talk about how we feel everybody did individually.
Okay, so first up, Bianca Del Rio. I mean, can we talk about the sledge here, the utter destruction?
Yeah, like
everything.
She, for one, seemed a little bit worried when she found out that Ru was like a big fan.
Yes. It was good to see her shake a little bit in her, just a little bit.
Yeah,
it was like, okay, she's real, she's human, she's not like, you know. But yeah, I mean, come on. She did Judge Judy right in front of RuPaul. Like, you can't get a better Snatch game than that.
And she did it really well, too.
Really
like,
good.
That's where she gets that voice thing from when she said you're lying or whatever. Like, fucking Judge Judy, bitch.
Yeah, just everything.
I guess the one critique I could think to say is that she did seem to be, from what they showed, one of the only people that really kind of made it a point to interact with, like, the other girls and kind of bring them into, and I don't know if she was trying to do it to throw them in any way or whatever, but if she was, good for her, like, you know.
It's smart, like, you can't be mad at her for trying to take her moment to be funny.
Yeah, and exactly, because I feel it was more that, like, if somebody said something that she felt Judge Judy would have a reaction, she said it, because she's Judge Judy.
And Judge Judy would fucking say that shit.
Yes! So, Adore is Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, it's definitely a risky move to pick someone who is no longer with us.
Yeah.
But because Adore is clearly a fan and loves her, it came from like a positive place of like.
Is such a character too.
Yes.
Like, it was perfection. It really was to me. Again, she was really funny. Like, I felt like.
And she did the right thing, because I feel like if she wouldn't have, like, been over the top, like, acting wasted and stuff, the judge would have told her, like, that was your moment to do that.
Right.
So, I felt like, you know, for a young bitch who doesn't really do, like, impersonations and stuff, it's just someone that is a fan of somebody, like, doing it, like, she fucking did.
I was really impressed. Yeah, no, I was definitely impressed. I didn't think that Adore was going to come that hard in the Snatch game, and she really did, and she really
She definitely did. Yeah, because if you would have asked me before, like, how do you feel Adore is gonna do come Snatch game? I would have been like, oh, I don't know, but she did do that. And like the 80s thing, like, I feel like when she's really into something, like, you don't really have to worry too much. Like, she got this.
Yeah.
But she doesn't be into it though.
Yeah, you can tell it's just something that she does in her life anyway. That's just one of her
like,
things.
she probably walks around the house fucking acting like the bitch sometimes in no time.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, next up was Milk as Julia Child, honey.
Where's Stacey Matthews Checker?
Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty tough. It was a tough one to get through, and it was like trying to like, come on, get there.
Yeah.
I just don't think it was a good character. Because when you really take that, I don't know how many people are really that familiar.
Yeah. I wasn't familiar with her until Stacey Matthews.
It was a difficult one to pick. I don't know who else. I don't know what her backup was. I would like to know.
I feel like picking Julia Child wasn't the best decision, because unless like you really know her like that and you have all the faith that you can make it funny, which I don't feel like Milk really had that, because it felt like she was struggling throughout it. To me, I feel like Milk is Sandra fucking Bernhard, and she should have done that, because like that wouldn't have taken that much work. She kind of looked like the bitch anyway when she in drag. Like, she a comedian, that's somebody funny, so I didn't understand. Like, I feel like Milk there's people out there who I thought she
that would have been
done
so good.
A lot better.
If she would have pulled that off, that would have been so good. But it would have been definitely hard, like, but...
Yeah, of course, but anyone's really hard. I feel like she could have, there were more celebrities and people out there that she could have picked that would have been easier to do.
Yeah. Next up was Miss Courtney Act as Fran Drescher. We are both huge Fran Drescher nuts. Like, that's my like icon. Like, I need a shrine of her in my house, like my Fran Drescher shrine.
Like, if you ask us about like what inspires our drag, like, we will mention the nanny named Fran, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was. I was really. I had my spectacle and my monocle looking at
inspecting
Miss Courtney. Now, she had the hair with the widow's peak lace front. And I said, okay, she got the widow's peak lace front. She got the widow's peak on there. So, and I think, you know, for someone Australian with her voice, she carried the accent pretty well.
She did carry the accent pretty well. I was impressed by the accent.
The voice could have been a little
more nasal. Thank you. Because Courtney already has like a tone to her voice. But I feel like that's Fran Drescher, you're doing Snatch Game, that needs to be like all the way there. Like you have to just...
Yeah, I do.
I didn't feel like it was over the top enough. Like that's Fran fucking Drescher. Yeah,
she wasn't as abrasive and loud and like
gaudy
extra.
And like, yeah.
Turn up, like... You know, like
I needed
really
more.
Yeah. But she did good. I will give her, like, I'll give her her 10.
I'll give her her save.
Yes. I'll give her her save. She was good, but she wasn't. I wish she would have taken it to that next level because I feel like she had the potential to.
Because to me, it's like you take it to the next level, and you ain't at Fran Drescher yet. Like you need to go a couple more levels after that.
Yeah. Okay. Next up was Miss Laganja Estranja as Rachel Zoe. I just think her fundamental issue was that she just didn't have the voice right, like the
where was her vocal fry?
Yeah, like like Rachel Zoe, it's like she was trying to do a voice like that robotic thing, but it wasn't quite Rachel Zoe.
It was more loud. It was like yelling like this.
Yeah.
And I wanted more like lack of emotion.
Yeah. Very, very Kourtney Kardashian, like I said, taken to another
another place. Yeah.
No, like I am literally dead on the ground right now. I can't take this. Like that kind of robot, but like she was almost doing it too loud. I don't know. I think the look was good. If she would have had like the personality that carried it off, not right. I would have liked to seen like deeper embedded wrinkled lines.
Thank you for mentioning this. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
The Real Paris on YouTube. She has her Rachel Zoe parody, whatever, Stevie Ryan, whatever.
Yeah.
And she has the mouth side wrinkles. So those are so
and the first time we saw that, it was like oh my god, the fact she did that, that's fucking pussy. Right. That's right there.
Again, I think Laganja, like us personally, we have such a we have a good Rachel Zoe impersonation in our mind
because we know it
so familiarly.
Yes, Rachel Zoe is one of those characters to me where it's kind of like the opposite of Julia Child, where like it seems almost easy to do that character, so you really need to be on point with it because like there really isn't that much room for error, especially with the look. You just gotta make sure you kind of wrinkly. Sorry, boo. Big glasses and stuff. You don't have to worry too much about like the makeup. You can cover it all up in her bag lady look and all of that. And vocal frying robot, bitch. Like that's all. Okay, so next up was Darian Lake as Paula Deen.
I love that hair. I just love that hair. It's so country taken to that drag level. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you work in a diner, but you're a drag queen working in a diner. Because
always on Snatch Game, and I live for it, it's all the celebrities you get except they happen to be wearing 301. You know, like they just, it doesn't matter who it is, like...
she had the accent, like, down. It was unspookable, and she was quick and, you know, had people laughing. She was good. I thought she was really pretty good.
Much like Fran Drescher, though, for example, she didn't get a lot of airtime. There wasn't a lot to critique.
Yeah, it could have been that next level, like crazy cackling, laughing.
Was she even wearing contacts or whatever? Because I feel like it's so in the eyes with Paula Deen for me. You know what I mean? It's so in the eyes.
Those crazy eyes. Oh, that bitch. Too much. I can't take it.
But fuck Paula Deen though.
No, fuck Paula Deen. That's what I'm saying.
But it's all in those fucking eyes.
She definitely did good. It wasn't my favorite, but she was funny and quick and, you know, good enough.
Yes.
Next up was Miss Gia Gunn, and she did Kim Kardashian. I feel like she was so thrown by the whole thing. She didn't come, like, even watching her Watch Your Pack and whatever with Michelle, it seemed like she didn't have a solid...
She didn't have a solid Snatch Game in terms of personality-wise, and like in that way, it seemed like she was going to rely more on the look.
Mm-hmm.
And then she decided not to do Selena, and then it was like just all up in the air after that. It was like, because at least the Selena, she had like this whole like gig that would have maybe gotten her further.
You gotta have that though. You gotta have that Valley Girl voice if you're doing Kim. You gotta have the vocal fry and the tone and the you gotta make it. I feel like it didn't even. I mean, she did try, but I feel like it was just not.
Because some of the time, and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I feel like if you're doing any character and you don't too much stick to like that particular character, but regardless of what you do, you are funny, I feel like they'll let you through a little bit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, even if you Kim Kardashian, you were saying things that Kim wouldn't necessarily say or whatever, like as long as you were going, you like, you know, maybe on to the next round, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like it just kind of fell flat regardless.
Yeah. She had like, you know, she had the quote and the bumper sticker on a Bentley, but it just wasn't in a way that she could make it like funny. It was trying to be more like authentically Kim. Like, oh, Kim says this, like I'm saying this, but it didn't really matter because it wasn't really funny.
It needed to be delivered in a different way,
Yeah.
I think Gia was definitely thrown by really kind of going into the competition more focused when it comes to Snatch Game, which is a very important part of the show, and just being more so about the look of it, because there have been a lot of people I feel that really nailed the look, and if you don't have the funny, then I just feel like there ain't really nothing to it.
Yeah.
I feel like the funny almost, in my opinion,
trumps the look. Yeah, completely.
Which is kind of weird, I get, from a lot of places, because a big part of drag is celebrity impersonation and the look.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily about celebrity impersonation so much as, you know, it's like Coco Montrese wasn't the most standout performance, but she looked like Janet, so they were like, okay, bitch, you're through, like, you're not going to put her on the bottom. Okay, so next up was Miss Jocelyn Fox as Teresa, Giudice, Giudice, whatever you want it to be, honey. Fabellini. Again, love Teresa. We love Teresa.
Yeah.
So, and we were looking at her with a motherfucking magnifying glass. Like, I'm like, you better be on point. She was good. Like, I can't fault her. She was good. The makeup was amazing. The hair was amazing.
Yes.
She come in. That was the best part. Like,
for sure.
Like, it was everything. Very Teresa, and I just wanted her to be a little bit more abrasive. Again, a little bit louder, a little bit turn up more, like...
Yeah.
Like, be nuts.
Yeah.
Like, Teresa, like...
Yeah, exactly. Like,
don't be, like, nuts, but be, like, just turn it up a little bit. I felt like she was a little bit soft for Teresa, like a little bit soft-spoken.
At times she was definitely a bit soft for Teresa, but then at the same time I feel like her versus Courtney Act during Fran Drescher was like, she was turned up enough for me that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because she had me laughing.
Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah. She was really good. She was, I think, one of the top for me just because, I mean, come on. She came out with a hair that low. Come on.
And my thing is, going into the competition, Jocelyn didn't seem like the type of chick that was really, in my opinion, going to do well in the acting challenges and stuff. And so far, so fucking good, Miss Black Horse.
Yeah.
Like, she really is kind of sliding on through that.
Yeah, she's really, really doing it.
And
like,
she's consistent.
Some powerful girls have gone home. Like, if you would have told me that she would have outlasted both Gia Gunn and April Carrion, I would have, because those were people I was looking at like, yo, like those are some big people like coming in with a lot of fashions and a lot of this and a lot of everything.
I think that's mostly based on her interview on our first like
impression, of
her in that video and being so soft spoken, and like she really kind of killing these hoes. Alright, Jocelyn.
Don't, like Jiggly said, don't sleep on Miss Jocelyn, because y'all sleeping on her. Next up was Miss Dayla. I mean, really, like, They had me all nervous with her doing her Alyssa Edwards. They had me.
I was like, don't go out there and do the Alyssa Edwards.
Oh my god! And then Ru was like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like they played me like she wasn't gonna come out here and tear these hoes apart. Like
yeah, I really thought like fuck like.
And
what
Maggie Smith, how do you do Maggie fucking Smith? How do you make that funny, bitch? Like.
And she did. Like I felt like she do from the start.
So fucking funny, like pulling this shit out about libations with fucking citrus flavor. Like what? Like
and like when Ru walked in the workroom,
completely.
right? And like she in this old age makeup and she ain't even got no hair on, and Ru's like talking about how she don't think it's a good idea. I would have felt the fucking fool.
Yes.
Sit there in some old ass makeup being told, nah, that's not what you should be doing. It's like really?
Yeah.
And she went out there and she fucking ate that. Like how?
She turned it. I mean, that's a talented.
That's having conviction in your character and saying, no, I know I can make this bitch funny.
Yeah, yeah, and I really again, I'm glad she won. There were a lot of top. I mean, Bianca Del Rio did amazing, but Ben was just so good, like so complete, and there's no like cracking of any. She's always there looking at you with her faces like
yeah, she
them faces that Maggie Smith faces of woo.
She was in character throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Next up was Trinity K. Bonet as Nicki Minaj. I was definitely a little bit worried for the Barbs because I was like, as big of a personality as Nicki Minaj is, she's like.
It's hard to do. It's easy. Let me put it this way: it's easy to do an awful ass Nicki Minaj. It's easy to do a Nicki Minaj that people think is on point and it's actually really whack or late in terms of Nicki Minaj used to act like that, but she doesn't really act like that anymore. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because
like doing outdated stuff.
Well, it depends because like if you would have given me old school Nicki Minaj with an underlayer of pink and the long and the
but what I mean is like someone coming out and doing Lady Gaga, it's very easy for them to do poker face and bitches are like, bitch, that's so late, that's like the old Gaga.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's definitely easy to get it fucked up.
Yeah.
To, I don't. Nicki Minaj, I don't know, it's like, I don't feel like, even though Nicki Minaj is such a poppin' celebrity, I don't feel like she's been around long enough, like, that we really know Nicki like that. Like, the way that you can say you know Cher like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, to the majority of people anyway.
Well, maybe to the majority of people, but I mean, like, she's had 2 albums out?
Yeah, 3.
3, whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
But you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like, how much can you base it on? She hasn't been in a ton of movies or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying she ain't like popping as fuck, but I'm saying like.
I think though it's just about the right person.
Well,
really.
definitely.
Yeah, I just don't know if it was the right move.
I don't know if Nicki, was the right character for Trinity. I feel like it was maybe someone that she felt she could easily lean on or whatever.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Nicki has so many like sides to her, whatever, that you can pick and choose what you want in that moment. Yeah. Now I will say this. I feel like she does a bomb ass fucking Nicki Minaj impersonation. Like, to me there were moments that like she would be smiling or laughing and she had that Nicki Minaj laugh and I was like, she looked just like the bitch.
Yeah,
right there.
There was a flavor there. There was.
Like, maybe there's an opening spot in Vegas for a Nicki Minaj impersonator. Now, I ain't trying to cut your coin, Vivian Pinay, but I'm just saying, the bitch looked the good as the Nicki.
Yeah.
Like, she looked like the bitch. She really do.
Can I just say that Miss Courtney is showing out with her body positivity message? Like, come on, Courtney. She really is doing this.
Okay, I just want to take a minute to talk about Bianca Del Rio because I know that a lot of people don't really get it sometimes with her. And as much as, like, she has, like, that funny side to her, let's say, she was out here, like, during the Snatch game, whatever, like, helping bitches get ready and doing their makeup. Dornisa Cincha, she like, girl, she didn't even have to hit up Bianca. Bianca hit her up.
Yes.
Like, so to the people that really think that Bianca is someone that you can take for face value in that way by what she does on stage. You're so wrong. Now you see there's a confessional moment where Adora's talking about Bianca being like her stepmom, whatever. I know she's joking, but you see how shit is, you know, going a little something between them, that little spark that I was talking about, how Adora maybe really just want to get in her mind a little bit, see, like, she don't really want her to hate her like that, like I'm saying, like I feel like a friendship is forming. Okay, so onto the runway, and I want to say that Mother, Miss RuPaul, looked over, like that dress was so gaudy, Mother, like the print, can we get into the print?
The print was beautiful. I loved it this week, I really did. I thought it was, like, I just watching it back now, I had to take another moment and say, okay bitch, she did that.
Like, for me, that is tacky glamour, like, not styled, overstyled or anything like gaudy in that way, but that print is so tacky and beautiful and gorgeous and done.
Speaking of tacky, Michelle Visage. I can't believe her ass rolled up there in some
in a fucking blonde lace front.
Come on,
fucking like
come
really
on,
like
mother.
I said, like she competing with a bitch is like it's RuPaul week and she did RuPaul week. Are you for real? She did look fucking good. Like it's fun to see Michelle as a guest, because when you get a show where the guest judge like actually like participates in that way, really gets into it, like Michelle.
The girls are doing a RuPaul look. Okay,
she like the nerve to fucking do that.
Yeah. Okay, so first up was Miss Jocelyn Fox. You know, it wasn't my favorite look of hers. It was cute. It wasn't like I wish it would have gone to the floor. I wish it would have been a bit more of a dramatic.
I felt like her overall effect wasn't really giving me RuPaul too much.
Yeah, it wasn't very RuPaul. Like, I wish the hair would have been bigger and blonder, one of the two at least.
And like just a different pattern in general.
Yeah, it wasn't a very RuPaul dress. Like some of these girls went out here.
A curl pattern. Yes. Like I just felt like the hair wasn't really like with the whole gig together.
Yeah,
I
it just
didn't
wasn't
get
very
what
RuPaul.
part of RuPaul
No.
it was meant to be.
No.
But I will say this. Because of her body of work, I forgive Jocelyn for not giving me exactly what I'm needing on the runway this week, because Jocelyn lately has been so good everywhere else. So you really can't come for her.
Yeah. It's not like she came out there really looking a mess.
No.
I'm trying to say that. She looked good, but it wasn't
good.
just very RuPaul to me.
Yeah, I wanted more Ru. I didn't get what like era she was trying to go for, what like moment.
Yeah. Next up was Miss Gia Gunn. I mean, look, this bitch went out and pretty much remade the exact damn dress. So that was pretty poppin'. Like she really did. When it came out, I knew exactly what dress it was. I was like, oh, I didn't know the girls was gonna go in like that and like recreate that shit. I was like, okay, dang, like
it was a lot. Like the minute she came out, it was like I know exactly what she was doing. I think I remember one of the judges saying something about her hair or whatever, and it was looking like a little on the dry side or whatever, but that whole moment that RuPaul did, her hair had this like very like dry effect.
Like, no, definitely. I just don't think it was executed.
It was definitely not executed exactly, but to me, it was good enough.
Definitely.
And because the dress was so like
she looked really good this week, I thought.
Yeah. Next up is Darian Lake, and this bitch really fucking did that with this look.
Yeah, when they were showing this in the Untucked previews or whatever, it was gorgeous to me. And when it was like I knew it was this RuPaul, like I was like, ugh, duh, like it makes so much sense. I thought she did that perfectly.
Yes. It was like the moment she came out, I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe Darian was able to do this. Like I knew exactly what she was going for. Like I was blown away. Like I really felt like, wow, because that's a lot, like as a thickums bitch to like have to do RuPaul, where a lot of people I feel would like panic a bit. Like she did it flawlessly.
Yeah. My only critique is that I do wish the gown would have gone a little bit further down to the floor. Just a little bit more, you know, just a teensy.
I'll forgive the inch.
Just a teensy.
I'll forgive the inch.
But
at this
I
point,
thought she looked
so
over. And Darian is just doing so well in my opinion, and she's really representing for the big girls, honey. So next up was Laganja Estranja. I saw where she was going, but I really don't know why she didn't just do gold. Or maybe if you wanted to do your twist on it, silver, holographic, or something. But the black, and then the pattern was like very confusing because it was like, okay, it's not even a solid color. It wasn't even like that type of what's the word? Fabric or whatever. So I just didn't understand her choices.
Yeah, for me, like, it's like if you gave me this look and critique it on its own without being a RuPaul gig, I would be so here for it. Like, I feel it was like future content, that's like so my gig, my judge, like I'm into it. Like, it was done well. Like, the whole like thing looked fucking over. Like, it was a con effect, right? But for it to be RuPaul and the RuPaul it was meant to be, I didn't understand why Adore got the critique that it was Adore doing RuPaul, because there were a few girls I felt that were themselves doing RuPaul.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Gia and Darren who did like the complete look.
Yeah. The hair too. I didn't think it was bad hair. I just I didn't understand the color choice for that particular look. You know what I mean?
It was very white blonde as opposed to, well, it was white.
And it just made it even further from RuPaul. So it was like really almost too detached for me from RuPaul.
That's the thing though, is that I loved the look on its own, but it just didn't really read RuPaul to me.
Next up was Bianca Del Rio. I thought she looked really good. I was just confused by the hair choice. Like, why wasn't it blonde? You know?
Yeah.
All it needed, really. If it was blonde, I would have said okay.
But again, this is why I don't understand. If Adore got the critique that it was Adore doing RuPaul and that wasn't the point, there were a few girls.
Yeah, I mean maybe they got critique too, but
maybe. But judges, what were you asking for? Were they supposed to be carbon copy like RuPaul, or were they supposed to be themselves like giving a RuPaul effect? I don't even know how to review this shit.
Yeah, it seems the girls I don't even know themselves. I don't even understand.
Well, she looked good. I definitely saw like the dress that Bianca was trying to give. But yeah, I feel like it was the hair that threw me off. That she would have been blonde. Yeah, it would have totally been okay immediately. Yeah. That being said, I did love the way that she looked. I felt like the silver was gorgeous. She made the right choice of the RuPaul she wanted to give.
And it was the right length. Like, she does it, she never does, she always hits just the floor, like, hits it right. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, well, you can't come for a fucking show in this shit. So, next up was Adore. And she was very open in saying that she was inspired by RuPaul. Again, I feel like this comes down to Adore not having a team of people running around her, like saying, have this, have that, we'll make this together, girl, I got you hooked up with these nails and these jewelries and these accessories and all of that. I feel like Adore is very much gone on the show with shit that Adore owns, that she's gone herself.
Yeah.
And so her closet is maybe lacking a little bit compared to a lot of these girls, but I feel like she makes up for it. So.
Yes, I feel like what she presented on the main stage, I wasn't mad at. I feel like I liked the dress. It was her interpretation of the dress, and she knew that. It wasn't meant to be an exact, copy. She took it as, Adore as RuPaul. And I thought the hair was Adore as RuPaul. It wasn't necessarily so much RuPaul itself.
But if Adore was RuPaul's drag daughter,
yeah.
And that's what she took from her.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dress could have definitely been longer. I did like the fabric, like the purple.
I did like the gown. Like, I liked it all, really. And I wasn't even too mad necessarily at the length, but it would have been, to me, a little more dramatic.
Yeah.
If it had just mermaided out a little bit more since she's a mermaid and things of that nature.
For me, I feel like you gotta give Adore 10s because, like, she's doing it, and she doesn't really have all the shit that all these girls have. Yeah. Like, if she would have all this shit, then, like, let's really see, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like she's really going through it well, being in a position where she might not have as much shit as so many people.
Yeah.
Next up was Trinity K. Bonet, and I just need to say, like, at this point, it's definite. When they got the little piece of paper, whatever, for this, like, when they got on the show, whatever, they said, this week you're gonna need to bring something that gives RuPaul. So some of the girls did carbon copies, and some of the girls said, okay, so I'm gonna make something or bring something that's like RuPaul effect or whatever, and
like that's similar to this.
Yeah, so Trinity saw that and said, okay, let me sew up a RuPaul look that Trinity would wear.
Yeah, if she sewed that dress up herself, if she would have thought that it was the exact dress, she would have sewn the exact dress.
Exactly, because if it was that clear cut, then she would have definitely just sewn up exact thing.
So when she came out, I knew instantly what RuPaul look she was trying to portray. It was very in her book, in RuPaul's book.
Yeah, because it's like on the cover at the back.
Somewhere. It's a very prominent picture in that book, and I love her.
It's like the 60s with a green.
Yes. And I thought she channeled it, but gave it her own spin, and I thought it was gorgeous. I loved it. I felt like she tried to almost like change her makeup a little bit, and the hair was gorgeous, and everything was. I loved it, and that dress is beautiful.
Yeah, and like the fact that she fucking made that shit herself.
Insane.
And it was all stoned with the feathers and it hit, and I felt like her body was cute and everything was right. So
yeah. Next up was Miss Dayla. I thought she did a pretty damn good job. Like, she changed her beat, which not a lot of girls would have done, and she tried to paint more like Ru. I thought the hair was pretty Ru-ish. She had the flower.
The whole thing,
and then the dress was I knew what dress she was doing. Yeah. She was pretty on point. Hit the nail on the head for me. Really.
Yeah, I felt like Ben de la Creme was expecting her look, because I feel like, I'm not trying to say every week I feel like she wasn't going to do as well, but you look at Ben de la Creme, you say, okay, be RuPaul, bitch, and you don't expect her to really pull it out the way that she did, but it's like, alright.
Yeah.
Like, you did that. And like, okay, for a lot of these girls, you might say, oh, well, this wasn't Ru enough, that wasn't Ru enough. You have to understand at the same time, like, these are bitches in the back room, getting ready, no Matthew, nothing. And it's like really cool to see that some of these bitches is really able to give RuPaul on their own. Like, fuck, like how you sit there all that time and put that shit together.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ben really kind of ate that for me. Next up was Courtney Act, and I was fucking done. Like, I really didn't know where Courtney Act was gonna take this. And when she took it there, I said,
she took it
perfect.
She took it to old school RuPaul. I said, okay.
And like everything was right.
It really did, and it was on point. It was a replica of that
And
moment.
For me, out of a lot of like Ru moments that you could have chose, she chose a very particular iconic look.
Yeah.
And like she took it somewhere where I don't feel a lot of people would have taken it.
Right. It was just beautiful. It was everything.
Yeah.
That bitch, she was giving you leg, honey. Was gorgeous. So next up was Milk. Bold move. You know?
Bold move.
So
the first thing I want to say about this look is my immediate reaction was to feel a little bit confused as to why Milan got like so much shit for doing her Janelle Monáe when it was her runway for the Snatch game. Because they were talking about if you're gonna do a suit, it needs to be feminine.
And they were going ham on the suit.
Janelle Monáe isn't exactly a cola bottle model, and I felt like Milan did Janelle Monáe to the T.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have fought her fucking Janelle Monáe. It was what it was. I felt like, Milk, she got kind of praised for it, whatever. I'm just mad for Milan because I'm like, like, what is that?
It's a little bit double standard. It's a little bit like, oh, because, Milk is this character, she can get away with it or whatever. But I was like, if you're gonna say something, say it like you mean it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that whole thing about not having your own you, but I feel like that doesn't apply in this way. Because when Milan did Janelle Monáe, it was the Snatch game Runway. She gave you not one but two celebrities that day. Okay, they didn't like her main celebrity that much for the Snatch game, but like her Janelle Monáe runway look was red, and it shouldn't have been, in my opinion. So for this to not be red for those same reasons is just really unfair. But I digress.
Yeah. My honest feelings are that I wish I could have seen Milk give me glamorous RuPaul. Choose whatever RuPaul. There's plenty of RuPauls, honey. There's been plenty of moments, and choose something that works for you and give it your interpretation. I felt like I would have really liked to see that, and I'm disappointed that I didn't. That's just my honest opinion. And it's not to say that it was the right move or the wrong move for her, whatever. But my opinion is that I want to see her do it. I want her to come out and give me glamour.
For me, when it comes to the whole thing of like being the type of queen that uses shock value in the sense that you do something completely unexpected, it's like what would really be really unexpected is for you to do something completely far from what you're doing. Like doing something unexpected is expected from somebody that does stuff that's unexpected. So if she would have really done just Ru, that would have been shocking. That would have been like, oh fuck, she came out here and she didn't do no crazy shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it would have given them what they wanted, shut them up, and people, it's like, I don't know why people are so like stubborn and seem to think that changing yourself or giving the judges what they want is gonna make you like, it's gonna, you know.
Well, like Milk, she was kind of coming from a place and feeling like she couldn't stand next to the other girls doing just glamour, so she stuck to what she knows, and at least she was honest in saying that, and was just like, real talk.
Listen, she made the move, and it made her safe, and she didn't, you know, like, I'm not sure if she was safe, but she stayed, and she wasn't in the bottom two.
Yes.
So, I mean, it worked for her. I wish I could have seen her. Like, if it was, I understand that she doesn't want to sacrifice who she is, but in a challenge that they tell you to be something, give me Milk's interpretation of RuPaul.
Well, she did.
Glamour, I guess, but I'm asking for glamour.
I know, and I'm asking for glamour too. But that's the thing, but you don't expect the glamour from Milk, so if she would have really done it, it would have been like, okay, that's unexpected, that's out of the ordinary for Milk.
I think people are stupid in, once again, this whole drag as a boy thing. Like, drag is just really what you want it to be in that moment. I feel there's definitely boy drag and alien drag and cat drag and corpse drag and
whore drag. Whore drag is very
whore drag and like dead zombie bride coming to kill you Chanel tees. Drag.
You can do drag and come out as Mr. Hanky.
Like there's everything.
Because I'm sure somebody in Puerto Rico done that.
Chad Michaels does Marilyn Manson. Like you can't be mad at that at a drag show.
No, because you use all the tools that drag teaches you to do something. For me, like I said, I feel like it would be harder for me to do drag as a masculine, passable, masculine, cisgendered male than it is to just be a pretty female. Like I feel like that would, like it would take a lot more for me to do that and still using the makeup and the tools that I've been taught by or learned from doing drag. So I feel like it's totally possible. Like when it comes to gender, I just really don't feel like there's any boxes that should be around drag. Like I just don't fucks with that.
So the challenge winner this week was Miss De La. I thought, you know, rightfully so, because Bianca's let it down on the runway. If her runway would have been more RuPaul, there would have been more chance of her winning, I think. You know? So the bottom two are Miss Laganja Stranger and Miss Gia Gunn.
Gia Gunn. So the song this week was very 80s, very, you know, pop and snare, very that. Can y'all imagine if Milk was in the bottom two and she had to fucking lip sync this shit? All Pee-wee Herb out in her suit. Like, that would have been a lot. But anyways, so, you know, for me, I just felt a little bit like off the bat, Laganja with the death drops and everything, like I felt like it wasn't really giving me the essence of the song. And at first, I was very much with Gia and giving me like her soft and, you know, like not doing too much. My thing is, I felt a little bit like she was influenced by what Laganja was doing and it threw her off, and really then she started like going for more of a Vogue thing, and I feel like she should have just kept with what she was doing.
The one thing I will say about Laganja is she definitely pulled out all the tricks, honey, and props to her. But
for at least having that fire.
Yeah, for having that fire and that passion, she was ready to stay. But I'm worried though, because if she has to lip sync again,
they see
what she got left. Like that's my only thing with giving it all. Like from the first 10 seconds, boom.
My thing is, and I don't mean to critique anybody on anything performance. That's your art. You made this shit, and I'm not trying to touch that. But my opinion would be that because Laganja is known to be a dancer, I would have thought that you would have channeled the essence of that like era and that song and that chick before immediately going more to just doing what you do at the clubs or doing something that is more current. Like I felt like you should have channeled that 80s can.
Yeah.
I would like to see that, especially from a dancer who dances as well as you do.
Yeah. So I think it was pretty close, but Laganja pulled it out, honey. Rue was feeling you, honey, with them moves. She was like, "All right, bitch, like you pulled them all out. You pulled them all out." So yes, so she got to stay another week. Unfortunately, Miss Gia Gunn went home. Watch her packing with watch her packing like with Michelle, because she has a lot of like gorgeous stuff, and you should at least get to see it. Would have been nice to see that on the runway. Would have loved to see some more looks.
She had looks
she's
for
a runway girl.
Yes, very that.
I'd like to think that Gia has come a long way from her farewell message thing, because it came off kind of like yeek, and I was like, oh Gia, like, just walk out with your head held high, you know?
Yeah, you wanted to just see that pride and that,
you know.
But it threw her a little bit.
It definitely did. So I want to see how she comes back on the reunion and what her opinion of herself has been. And
I hope
give her a chance to speak for herself.
Yes, definitely.
Because the girls have been really going hard on her, and it's, a bit unnecessary, like it always is.
It is very unnecessary. Like, to me, unless these girls coming out here spewing some, like, racist shit or, like, pulling a gun out their purse, like...
It's the fans spewing the racist shit, honey.
Yes.
Check yourselves.
Y'all play too much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like, I hope that Gia has broadened her horizons, because when she went into it in that interview, I don't know what the time is or whatever, or when it's filmed or whatever, but when she came into, like, the Meet the Queens video, she talked about broadening her horizons when it comes to, like, her outlook on drag, and so I hope that she did manage to do that in the end, that it did help her achieve that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know Gia like that, so I can't really talk too much about her personal situations and things, but I can say that when it comes to these very pageant girls and everything, it's very cutthroat sometimes, and the girls will come for you if your shit is not up to that level.
Yeah.
Like, having met girls like this, like, I know what it's like, and you can imagine what it's like to be around that and that be, like, your influence on drag, because, like, these girls really do hard. Go hard.
Yeah.
Do hard? I guess that, too. But yeah, they do, like, really, like, there are girls out there that, like, you need to be all over, like, your body need to be right, you need to give me fucking pussy, like, so I get that part of drag. It's out there, and I feel like that's what I'm saying. I hope that getting on Drag Race will give her more.
Okay, so let's move on to the Untucked. Now, we're not really going to get into, like, Trinity getting Santino twisted and saying that, because, I mean, the whole
She had her twisted.
She had her twisted, so... it was cute to see how, Trinity was being hard on herself as usual, like, and I feel like when we were talking about Trinity, like, seeming older, I feel like that's where her age is showing in her, like, she needs to love herself and her self-belief,
Yeah.
But it was really cute to me that Jocelyn, Darian, and Courtney were all there being really supportive and encouraging and, giving her good advice, I thought. So it was a really cute moment.
And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for you to be able to, like, really receive that.
Yeah. So the girls were talking more about, loving themselves, and Miss Darian talking about she's gonna own her bat wings. Yes, God, bitch, you better shake it. So then, I guess Trinity felt, good enough and safe enough in this environment of people to speak up about the fact that she was HIV positive. And, it's so important for someone visibly there and speaking up on it and educating, and it's just everything. Like, I'm so proud of her. Like, she really is just, like Courtney said, a beacon. Like, this whole moment I feel like was perfect. Like, she said it to the right people in that moment.
She felt like it was right for her.
Like, it was really, really good. And I think that people will see a whole different side to Trinity. And, I definitely think it was holding her back, and that hopefully now she can be, freer to compete and feel like reinvigorated, like, especially with her message now or whatever.
And I feel like that's where, like, the times that I've seen Trinity, and it's been like, how can someone be 22 and, like, so over and, like, with such a positive message and outlook on things in a way that I don't see in a lot of people my age.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where it comes from. It comes from, like, having been through something, and where it comes from for most people who are like that, really going through struggle and going through things and just building yourself into
overcoming adversity.
Yeah. So moving on to the gold bar, you know, and Trinity ends up getting a message from her mom, which is only gonna help her move forward in this competition after sharing everything with these girls.
For sure.
You know, now it's like I feel like this is what she needed. I can't wait to see what comes next week with her, because I feel like she's gonna do it.
Yeah,
like,
she's gonna go in and let her.
Yeah. You know, also this message was really good just for people watching, you know, parents that might notice these same tendencies in their children, you know, like that it's okay, and like look at Trinity K. Bonet at 22 years old, everything she's accomplished, how successful she is, how put together she is, how creative, and it really goes to show that kids who, you know, dabble in like, you know, wearing mom's heels or doing something creative or, you know, doing something that isn't necessarily, in some people's ignorant minds, gender appropriate, and I say ignorant minds if you think that way, you know, it goes to show that it can come with so much success.
You know, it's definitely important to see for a lot of, you know, younger drags out there, maybe older drags, to see that a parent can be so supportive from such a young age, and it shows maybe some people, oh, maybe I should have supported this when my child was younger, and they could have maybe been here before they are now, or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what
definitely.
I mean? Like, just being open-minded, and that it's okay for your child to express femininity or masculinity if they're feminine. Yeah, or whatever. So just, you know, love your child, let your child express themselves freely and creatively, and it's important. Like, you know, I wish that I could have been that way when I was younger. I wish that I had more freedom to do what it is that I wanted, and I feel like I would have benefited from that, you know?
Definitely, because parents really just need to let their children blossom and be happy and do what they love at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to the next group of girls in the Silver Lounge. I feel like in general, when it comes to her view on Bianca, her reaction to what Benjamin Creme said, her reaction to Adore, I just felt like Andra was like so oversensitive of everything, and she was taking everything so seriously. And moments where someone said something to her where she could have like come back with something funny or made it a light moment, she didn't. She just took it so seriously, and I get the competition serious.
She was really in her feelings and like feeling nervous about being in the bottom two for sure, like. But she was just throwing everybody else off, like, and almost like putting blame on you know, Bianca for that Judge Judy moment. You can't really be mad at her. Like, okay, maybe it threw you, granted, but you can't really be mad at her for, in RuPaul's Drag Race, a competition, wanting to stand out.
Yeah.
Like, that's what she's here to do.
I feel a little bit where Bianca Del Rio was coming from, and she was talking about, like, the sound bites with Laganja and, like, the Miss Hunty, Miss Mama, all of this. Like, she's so, like, eager and willing to, like, you know, be that way in one moment, but then in another moment she expects everybody to be completely serious with her and not, like, act the way they would be acting when they're fucking taping an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
So, like, when Ben de la Creme says something to you that seems a little shady, you should be able to take that because that's what you're putting out there yourself. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I just feel a little bit like LaConcha coming at Adore for feeling some type of way about something she said in this Untucked moment that she couldn't too much remember, but, like, Adore was the one when this episode began that had your back and was asking you what was wrong and wiping your tears up and everything, so I just felt a little bit like, give her something, and if in your opinion she messed up somewhere, like, understand that she ain't a fucking nasty bitch, like, she ain't trying to...
She obviously cares about her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think everyone can see that, so I don't know why she couldn't in that moment.
And I feel like that's why Adore was so completely frustrated by it, because she was just like, what the fuck? Can I just say, after all the drama and everything, was Bianca Del Rio in that moment not the fucking, like, preschool teacher? Like, oh, some shit went down. Come on, you gotta get it together. We got a little show to do.
Pretend you got some gas, leave it in the hallway. Like, that was real.
That's a professional ass, real ass moment.
Yeah, and just also just a nice, kind person who cared about her and was saying, you know what, bitch, you gotta go on that stage, so shake it off.
Like, it felt like, to me, like it would have felt nice for me if I was feeling the way that Laganja was, to have Bianca come up to me and give you a little shake and, you know, come on, girl, and like kind of put you back in that state of mind that this isn't as big of a deal personally as you're taking it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's Laganja's the first one to come in and start and like try and read somebody and you know
and be
try
funny
and turn up and be funny,
yeah.
But then in these other moments, she's not giving that whatsoever.
And she's expecting everyone to be on that same page of seriousness and
right.
But it's because you're in your
feelings.
And
they don't even know her like that really yet, you know. So
yeah.
It's a difficult one, but you know, it is what it is.
Gia Gunn literally went out, Trina, the baddest bitch, y'all fucking crustacean assholes. Like, she went like ham. She wasn't taking fucking no prisoners, you know, like.
She was gonna cuss these hoes out.
Dang.
Bad Girls Club Tea.
Yeah.
So, yes, that leaves us at the end of the episode, and we will see y'all next week. Super excited for Trina and Eve.
Yeah, speaking of Trina.
Round of applause.
Finally.
Finally.
She been on.
Yeah. It's about, come on. So yes, so we will see y'all next week. Bye.